been a very scary, very stressful, very strange week here in LA, where we work, where we live, where our kids go to school.
Jimmy Kimmel is absolutely losing his mind after Sylvester Stallone went to Mar-a-Lago to introduce Trump as the second George Washington. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of meltdowns that are happening right now with people like Jimmy Kimmel and other celebrities who are losing it after Sylvester Stallone went and hung out with Trump, shook his hand, gave him a hug, and said that he is the second George Washington and he is what we need for America right now.
Those shows are very hard for me to do, and I don't enjoy speaking about serious subjects. I just sometimes feel like I have to, and I think it is, you see people talking about things all the time, but I think seeing a comedian speak seriously has a little more impact than the people you might be used to seeing those things from.
What happens when Hollywood's nicest tough guy takes on late night's sharpest tongue? Well, let's just say things didn't go as planned for Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's latest meltdown is all over the internet, and it all started during what should have been a straightforward promo. Sylvester Stallone was scheduled to appear on Jimmy Kimmel Live to promote his hit series Tulsa King, but instead of a friendly conversation, the situation turned into something no one expected. Behind the scenes, there were already whispers of tension. Reports suggest that Kimmel tried to cancel Stallone's appearance over their clashing political views. Stallone stayed professional and didn't publicly address it. But when Kimmel took the stage, things got personal fast.
When George Washington defended his country, without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
I guess those punches Rocky took to the head were real after all. George Washington was the father of our country. Donald Trump is the father of Eric. Big difference there.
During his monologue, Kimmel made a series of pointed jabs at Stallone, poking fun at his career and even his values without Stallone being there to respond. It wasn't just another late-night joke, it felt targeted. Stallone's reputation for resilience and respect stood in stark contrast to Kimmel's biting comments, leaving viewers wondering if Kimmel was cracking under pressure. But this wasn't just an on-air drama. It began long before Stallone even stepped into the studio. Sylvester Stallone was set to appear on Jimmy Kimmel Live as part of the promotional tour for his hit Paramount Plus series Tulsa King. The show, where Stallone plays a mob boss rebuilding his empire in Oklahoma, had gained significant buzz and fans were eager to see him in a candid conversation about the project. However, what fans didn't know was the tension behind the scenes. According to insiders, Jimmy Kimmel pushed ABC to cancel Stallone's appearance. Allegedly, Kimmel wasn't too keen on hosting Stallone, pointing to their different political beliefs and past comments made by the action star. This friction created a lot of speculation, especially since Stallone is known for his professionalism and rarely engages in public spats. Despite the drama, Stallone showed up as planned, keeping his behavior calm and composed. Meanwhile, Kimmel's irritation seemed to surface even before Stallone took the stage. Instead of using the opportunity to focus on Tulsa King or Stallone's legendary career, Kimmel's monologue included digs that felt like they were directed straight at the guest of the night. Stallone didn't bite back, but it was clear the tension was palpable. Instead of keeping things professional, Kimmel turned to his favorite tool, but this time, it backfired. During his opening monologue, Kimmel made several remarks about Stallone's past movies, labeling them dated action flicks, and even joking about his iconic voice and mannerisms. While Kimmel's humor has always walked the line between bold and biting, this time it seemed to cross over into disrespect. He didn't stop there. Kimmel referenced Stallone's public stance on traditional values, framing them as outdated in today's world. These remarks didn't land well, especially since they seemed more like personal jabs than lighthearted jokes. Viewers reacted with many calling out Kimmel for being unnecessarily harsh. It wasn't just comedy anymore, it felt pointed, creating an awkward atmosphere that overshadowed the rest of the episode. What made it worse was Stallone's reputation as someone who doesn't actively engage in controversies or public feuds. To many many people, Kimmel's approach seemed less like a roast and more like an ambush. And while Kimmel was busy throwing punches, Stallone decided to take the high road in a way only a true legend could. Instead of engaging in a war of words, Stallone maintained his silence publicly, refusing to address the tension directly. His quiet confidence spoke volumes, especially when compared to Kimmel's loud commentary.
Okay, here I go again, putting in my 2 cents. Everyone has 2 cents to put in, and everyone's philosophy quite often is kind of designed to help you get through life as we know it. But I was talking about alligator hide, and you have to be tough like that, and resilience to be able to ward off negativity. I mean, people have said to me, words don't mean anything unless they're true. That's not true. Words hurt. Words are the same as a thorn on a rose. They look nice, but boy, some of them can really hurt.
Rather than getting into the weeds, Stallone chose alternative platforms to speak authentically about his career and personal beliefs. He appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast, where the tone was more respectful, giving fans an unfiltered look at his journey in Hollywood and his work on Tulsa King. Stallone also made an appearance on Gutfeld, a show known for its candid and relaxed discussions. Here, Stallone finally opened up about handling the industry and why he prioritizes staying true to himself rather than giving in to public narratives. This move solidified Stallone's standing as a class act. While Kimmel's late-night platform fueled outrage, Stallone's decision to quietly steer the conversation elsewhere not only won him sympathy, but also drew attention back to his work and character. But what really set Kimmel off? It wasn't just Stallone. It was a reflection of something much deeper. Over the past few years, Jimmy Kimmel has faced many challenges. His ratings have steadily declined, especially as late-night talk shows compete with streaming platforms, podcasts, and a shifting audience that no longer tunes in for nightly monologues. What used to be a winning formula now feels out of touch for many viewers. Kimmel's humor has started to feel huge, especially as he leans heavily into political commentary. This alienates a portion of his audience who tune in for laughs, not lectures. Stallone's appearance may have been an attempt by Kimmel to reignite his relevance. By targeting someone as universally respected as Stallone, Kimmel seemed to gamble on the idea that controversy would draw attention. Unfortunately for him, this tactic didn't work as planned. Instead of boosting his image, it exposed the cracks in his approach, with many seeing the incident as more desperate than daring. Digging deeper, it becomes clear this feud was about more than just a canceled booking, it was political. Stallone has long been said to lean conservative and has voiced support for Donald Trump in the past. Meanwhile, Kimmel has built a reputation for his relentless criticism of Trump and his allies, often dedicating significant airtime to mocking them. While Stallone hasn't been outspoken about his political views recently, his past association with Trump made him an easy target for Kimmel's frustration. To Kimmel, Stallone's booking might have felt like inviting someone from the other side into his territory. This tension spilled over into the show, where Stallone became collateral damage in Kimmel's ongoing battle against Trump and his supporters. This political undercurrent wasn't lost on viewers, many of whom called out the hypocrisy of Kimmel preaching inclusivity while alienating guests based on their perceived beliefs. It raised an important question: when does humor cross the line into bias?
Okay, my big muscular friend, I saw you the other night on Jimmy Kimmel, kind of making fun of me. Telling the whole world about how you tricked me into doing the worst movie ever made. Nah. Does it bother me? Nah. Is it burnt into my memory like a horrible scar? Nah. Well, maybe just a little bit. So anyway, as you know, I write, which is something you don't. Oh, did I say that? And I've decided to write a sequel called called Stop or Your Grandmother Will Beat Your Ass. And I will be directing and producing and mocking it all the way through.
Throughout the drama, Stallone didn't publicly address Kimmel's jabs or engage in any back and forth. Instead, he redirected the narrative toward positivity, showcasing his dedication to storytelling and creativity. In interviews on platforms like Joe Rogan's podcast and Gutfeld, Stallone spoke passionately about his career, his creative process, and the joy of playing a complex character like Dwight Manfredi in Tulsa King. He avoided any mention of Kimmel, opting instead to highlight the hard work and team effort that went into the series. This approach was a stark contrast to Kimmel's antics. While the late-night host seemed focused on controversy, Stallone reminded fans why he's a beloved figure in Hollywood through his humility, professionalism, and commitment to his craft. It was a masterclass in grace, proving that staying true to yourself is often the best way to rise above the noise. Realizing the damage was done, Kimmel and ABC scrambled to clean up the mess, but Stallone wasn't playing along. According to insiders, ABC reached out to reschedule Stallone's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. The network saw an opportunity to repair the relationship and handle the negative press. However, Stallone wasn't interested. In true Stallone fashion, he declined the offer, sending a clear message that he wouldn't be part of their PR game. While Stallone didn't make a public spectacle of his decision, his refusal spoke volumes. Fans saw this as a powerful stand, elevating his reputation as someone who values respect over ratings. For ABC, this was a blow. Stallone's absence wasn't just about losing a major celebrity guest, it symbolized a deeper issue within late-night television. By declining to participate in their attempts to spin the narrative, Stallone highlighted the disconnect between the industry's old tactics and the modern audience's expectations. This incident sheds light on a bigger trend. Audiences are moving on, and late-night TV is struggling to keep up. Platforms like podcasts and YouTube are thriving, offering fresh, authentic content without the scripted feel of traditional late-night shows. For many viewers, tuning into a long monologue or staged interview doesn't hold the same appeal as listening to an unfiltered, real conversation on a podcast. Take Stallone's appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast as an example. The episode allowed Stallone to discuss his career, his passion projects, and even personal anecdotes in an environment that felt genuine and unscripted. This level of connection is hard to achieve on a late-night show, where the focus often shifts toward humor and quick sound bites rather than meaningful dialogue. Meanwhile, Kimmel's approach feels outdated. His humor often alienates as many people as it entertains. This wasn't always the case. There was a time when Kimmel and his peers dominated the conversation, but today viewers seem to crave authenticity over cleverness, depth over spectacle.
In the world of alpha dogs, there is one number one guy, and his name is Sylvester Stallone. And he said when he were doing the Hollywood fight in the back, Stallone was like, "Come on, bring it," like meant it.
This shift in audience preference has left traditional late-night shows struggling to maintain relevance. As fans turn to platforms that allow for more freedom and creativity, the rigid format of late-night TV feels like a relic of the past. In the end, this wasn't just a clash of personalities, it was a battle between two approaches to staying relevant. Stallone, with his calm demeanor and commitment to his craft, showcased the power of authenticity and humility. On the other hand, Kimmel's antics seemed like a desperate attempt to hold on to an audience that's already moving on. Fan reactions online made this divide even clearer. One person wrote, "Stallone is a class act. He doesn't need to stoop to their level to prove anything." Another said, "Kimmel's humor used to be funny, but now it's just mean. No wonder people are tuning out." The incident served as a reminder that in today's entertainment landscape, respect and authenticity go further than shock value or controversy. While Kimmel's approach may have worked in the past, it's clear that the future belongs to creators who prioritize connection and creativity over conflict. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Hollywood's latest drama, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more celebrity insights. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update.